Welcome back to another RCTV episode. I'm Christian.
And I'm Kylie. On today's episode, we will be looking at a silent horror short film,
An RCHS EMT Spotlight,
an athletic trainer overview,
a student spotlight over swimmer Luke Huffman,
and another student spotlight over boxer Richard Pounce. That's all right here
right now
on RCTV.
Halloween is one of my favorite holidays.
Some of our students made a horror film to get us in the spooky mood.
Let's take a look. That was pretty scary.
Luckily, we don't have to be scared about life-threatening situations thanks to our EMTs in training.
Here's Alex with a spotlight on our EMT program.
Some Rose City students are on their way to becoming an EMT. Health science teacher Samantha Ford explains the program.
An EMT stands for Emergency Medical Technician. They are the baseline response whenever somebody is injured or hurt and 911 is called. They're usually the first people on scene. They are trained in all basic life survival skills, things like CPR, AED, administration. They can also administer medications. They also transport patients to hospitals in conjunction with other medical professionals. They are the basically first line defense when it comes to saving somebody's life.
EMTs are trained in a lot of things like CPR, but there's a lot more to do on the job.
Being on the job is amazing. It's a lot of fun. You get to see different types of patients, different types of complaints, injuries, illnesses. You also have a good camaraderie with other individuals in the field. As EMTs, paramedics, you also get to hang out with firefighters, police officers, and it's all done with an altruistic means to save somebody's life.
It takes a special kind of person to be an EMT, Mrs. Ford has some advice for students wanting to becoming an emergency medical technician.
I would tell someone who wants to be an EMT that they need to start developing their professionalism and an attitude towards being somebody that can be calm in situations that are very dynamic, situations in which other people need somebody that is calm and educated in order to control the scene and then help people as well. So that professionalism, that calmness is probably the first thing to work on.
Developing calmness and professionalism is one way EMTs help to face those difficult, challenging times to cope with the stress on the job.
The hardest thing about being an EMT could either be the nature of the call. Sometimes we do see some things that most people don't see in their normal day-to-day lives. Another thing is that the shifts can sometimes be 12 hours, they can be 24 hours or more depending on what service you work for. And then also taking a break can be very hard because it is so much fun.
But some of those hardest things about being an EMT are also the easiest thing.
The easiest thing is the adrenaline rush that you get for every call. I mean, that is just, it's something that never dies down and you still get excited every time you're called out.
Are you interested in becoming an EMT? Here's what to expect from Mrs. Ford class.
Oh, my class is awesome. I've got a great group of kids. They are studying behind me actually right now. They have a quiz coming up on pathophysiology, pharmacology, and these sound like big words, but this is all the stuff that they do have to learn in order to get their certification. They're always up. Outside of that, doing skills. They've done American Heart Association CPR already, and they've all passed that, so they're certified now. They've learned how to assess a patient. Next up, they're going to learn how to take over airways and also provide ventilations to patients.
Thank you, Mrs. Ford. We are so lucky to have you here at Varsity High School. This has been Alex Backlock for RCTV.
It's so cool that we have so many medical classes and clubs at RCHS.
Another one of our medical classes is our athletic trainers for the football games.
Here's Miriam with an overview of what they do.
In Texas, football is king and focused on the players. But behind the scenes, 25 of our RCHS students are keeping our players hydrated, healthy, and ready to go.
We help out with like the minor injuries during football practice, like a cut or something. And then during games, we kind of like hydrate them. We have our waters with our racks. I've done taping and wrapping.
We come in before the football players and we get everything set up, like ice and water, injury kits, and really just anything you need to put in your pack, like taping and stuff like that.
Even though it's a lot of hard work, our trainers go into depth about why they joined.
I saw some friends doing it and it just seemed very nice.
I really wanted to be one because I wanted to be a physical therapist when I was first going into high school, and then I started doing it and I really enjoyed just the community and the fun time with your friends.
With all specific mental skills, the trainers learn professional skills that carry on to their future and build likely friendships.
I've noticed a huge impact in my social skills when not being scared to like talk to other people besides like my friends.
I think just being aware of things and also people skills. I know that's kind of random, but I've had a lot of friendships made through this, so carrying that with me into the future.
It's their friendships and support that help them face challenging situations.
Last year, my sophomore year, we had a neck injury during the Ennis game, and it was really, really weird to watch, just the reaction to the injury.
I want to say the most challenging one we've had is probably a tib-fib fracture with an ankle dislocation. That's probably the worst injury that I've seen since I've been here. But we have, we see lots of ankles, lots of knees, shoulders, so.
With 10 seniors graduating this year, there will be openings for the right students next year.
You need to have good time management because we are there for mostly every practice for football, and we are mostly every season.
So skills, they learn how to tape. They also learn CPR, first aid. They'll learn how to use an AED. which is an automatic external defibrillator. They learn how to use those. They also learn how to use our modalities. So we have lots of different modalities that we teach them. We have cold whirlpools, we have e-stim machines, we have a game ready. So they learn all those different type of skills in that.
Does this sound like you? Well, Miss Langham explains the application process.
So we have an application process. So we have a Sports Med 1 class that anybody is able to take. And then after that, there's an application process. So they have to fill out an application. They have to get letters of recommendation. They have to do an interview. And then they also have to write an essay. And so we don't ever know from year to year how many students we're going to take. Like this year we have 25, but I graduate 10. So will we replace with 10? We don't know. It's just kind of based off of the applicants that we get. But we have started the sports medicine program at both middle schools. So now as 8th graders, they are being introduced to this also.
Next time you are cheering for the Bulldogs, don't forget about our outstanding trainers who keep our Bulldogs safe.
Go Dogs!
It's amazing to see some of our students help out the athletes here.
One of our student athletes, Richard Pons, has won a spot to the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Here's Cameron Denson with an interview to find out more.
Student by day, boxer by night, can describe what Richard has done from a young age. Let's speak to him and find out what's so special about him.
I was 8 years old, and what inspired me to box was my older brother. Seeing him compete, fighting, and getting to a level where, you know, is kind of great, it inspired me to do it, so I tried it out and I liked it.
Wonder what his most memorable fight is? Well, we'll let him explain.
My first fight, I had like started training for that fight for 3 months, and I got my first fight, and I fought and I won. I had you know, everybody there to see my first fight, see me win, see me have a victory, and it was good.
With the extreme stress boxing puts on his body and mind, let's figure out what keeps him coming back.
I think the fear of failure is what keeps me determined. Seeing people who have a lot of potential and not make it to where, you know, they plan to make it keeps me going, keeps me, you know, hungry, you know. Every year I see new people coming in thinking this is for them, thinking they like it. And when things get hard, that's when everybody starts to leave, you know. It is a lonely sport. It's not like football, baseball, soccer, where you have teammates that you can depend on. You have a coach, and you can't really depend on him as much because he's not there in the ring helping you. And I think the loneliest part is the workouts, running late at night, working out by yourself, doing bag work, shadow boxing. It's just you and your mind is all you really have.
Richard has achieved something most teams can't even think about completing. I'll let him explain his big achievement experience.
The Olympic trials, it was good. It was hard. It was a war between two great fighters, and I came out as a better man that night. I hope to achieve winning the Olympics, the 2024 Paris Olympics, and winning my first pro debut next year.
Boxing must be a challenging sport.
I agree. Another challenging sport some of our students compete in is swimming.
Johnny talked to a medal-winning swimmer, Luke Huffman.
At a young age, Luke Huffman, RCHS senior, jumped into swimming. He has loved it, and that love is carried into high school.
So I started swimming when I was like 3 years old at the YMCA, and I just kind of learned how to float and like be water safe. I started competitively swimming at like the age of 7, and then I just stuck with it, and now I've been swimming for 11 years. I was recruited by a bunch of Division I colleges like Texas, A&M. I took visits to UC San Diego and to West Point, and West Point is where I really fell in love.
Luke Huffman has learned discipline and time management through getting to 5 a.m. practices.
So since the age of 12, I've had to get up at least twice a week at 4:30 to go to 5 a.m. practice. And every afternoon I have to go from 5 to 7 and then do my homework and then eat dinner with my family. And all of that has really built up time management, and I've become pretty disciplined at getting to practice early, being the last one to leave, and putting in the work whenever it needs to be done.
Luke Huffman has something motivational for us.
Do whatever it takes. Get rid of the junk food. Get rid of the bad habits that are hindering your athletic performance. You need to be able to perform at your best every day. And that doesn't mean perform at your fastest, because if you're out of shape after a break, but you're still getting your heart rate up, you're still trying your best, that's all you need to do.
Throughout high school, Luke Huffman has gone to regionals each year, freshman, sophomore, and junior, and hopefully senior year too. Luke Huffman has one last message for us.
Heard it here first. I'm going to continue my academic and athletic career at West Point.
This has been Johnny Williams for RCTV.
I love that we get to spotlight some of the students here at RCHS.
If you want to see more episodes, go to youtube.com/RCTV Teen News.
This has been Kylie
and Christian
for RCTV.